You have 60 Minutes with N2X hosting the Wah² show.
Wah² show. Beware.
Barcelona was a scary gig for us because we haven't played for 6 months, and then we sort of walked out in front of 5,000 people, and I'm never scared when we play, but I was just terrified. And as I was playing, I don't know if you can see it from the film that's been shot by Wah², but my knee shakes. And it was so embarrassing because I had involuntary knee shaking, which is not very kind of rock and roll or N2X, but... Since then, Anne's been off in the deserts of Idaho shooting guns with a biker gang. I've been making a hardcore porn film, and Stephen's been making a film about plankton.
Whenever we've been listing it, especially to German people, we've said, right, what's the most outrageous? Hanging out with the Brother Speed biker gang in Idaho, shooting guns, making a plankton film, or making a porn film. And every German person we've asked so far have said the most outrageous thing is the plankton.
So we did try very hard, as we always do, to kind of outdo each other, but plankton wins every time. Yeah. the album's going to be called The Joy of Relentless Consistency. Adding Salt to Injury is probably a lot closer to the kind of thing that happened and how it kind of worked, and how our band kind of works as a democracy, doesn't it, darling?
Yes.
So yeah,
they're very democratic.
Things change.
But also, the joy of relentless consistency would have. A, it's a bit of a mouthful, and B, we probably would have been sued by that hotel.
Yeah.
Where was that hotel?
It was a hoteling chain in California that are part of their kind of hotel name. Then underneath it says The Joy of Relentless Consistency, and it kind of sums up that whole hotel experience. Hell. Yeah.
The word joy and relentless shouldn't be in the same sentence. They're just not made to be together.
No.
The joy of relentless consistency.
So
relentless.
So it's now called Adding Salt to Injury, and that's kind of how we sort of view the whole English music scene and how we fit into it, and how they kind of view us. It also relates to the kind of the live show, because it's more like this album comes directly from a live experience. So, a lot of people when they write about us say that they've been injured in the live show, God knows how, or
they bleed from the arse.
Yeah.
Or stuff.
Yeah.
And get made deaf.
Or they're insulted by our sound, which we never mean to happen, really. So that's where that one came from. So I do apologise, it's changed. Fucked by sound, that's it, exactly. And that's Adding to X. Fucked by sound.
We should have called the album that.
We should.
Fucked by sound.
Fucked by sound.
Oh, shit.
See. The new Adding to X album is now called Fucked by Sound.
We've changed it.
We've changed it.
et des critiques et du grand
What you can see here in Germany is so different to what we experience in England, and only very recently the English laws have changed, and now pornography, hardcore pornography, is now legal. Rock and roll, sex, drugs, they're all kind of related, and it's the fact that society, especially in England, believes that if you take drugs, marijuana, then you end up being a heroin addict. If you watch pornography, then you end up being some kind of crazed rapist. And for us, it's not like that, because you've got choice. The point of view, you as a single individual person, pornography shows you a kind of moral mirror. In other words, where you stand is how far you want to go. Same with drugs. Where you stand is how far you want to go. And if you end up a smackhead, then you're a fool, but you're a smackhead. And it's for you to realise that and for you to come through it. But it's your personal journey, and no way can the state or government tell you what you can and can't do, what you can and can't take, what you can and can't see. And I think that basically this is the revolution, this is the 21st century, and until people start to take control of this thing, then it's never going to happen. There's a definite reason for making it, there's a definite political reason for making it, and it's not just, hopefully seen as run-of-the-mill thing, and I hope it's sexy and it's funny to watch. Hardcore pornography is really boring. It's really kind of not interesting at all, and it's the same kind of gangster kind of stuff, isn't it? Whereas art porn has some moral kind of transgressive, bloody kind of horrible message. We're not really interested in that. What we wanted to do is make a sex film, proper sex film. But the way we decided to do that was to try and change the way that you see it. We had these little tiny surveillance cameras that were usually used to film acts of violence like theft or, some shopkeeper being stabbed to death or something. So we took this kind of camera and we gave them to the performers while they were having sex. So what you see is their kind of viewpoint, or what they find sexy, what they find erotic. But at the same time, the way it relates to N2X is that there are all these mad machines, the fantastic sex machines for women. I mean, vibrators are just really, really brilliant. And for men, there is nothing.
Like spins round.
That's called the Dr. Johnson.
Crazy.
Great name. The idea at the end of the film, I've got this N2X fucking machine, which the girls attack.
It's amazing, this machine. It's brilliant. And Barry's going to auction it off to some lucky girl, or boy, but not before I've had a go on it, because it looks fucking good.
But it's kind of like the idea of the machine, if you look at it,
good.
It's like a cross between a Harley Davidson, a prop from the film Alien, a gun, all these kind of things that represent male sexuality. And it's just medieval, isn't it?
Like this, okay? It's like this big machine. And then on the end, there's a dildo that goes or something like that. But it's like wind up. It's like not battery operated. It's completely analog.
Yeah, that's true. But the funny thing is that kind of represents that kind of male fucking, which is all men can really do, and they can fiddle around a bit, I suppose. And so that relates to the Metal Fingers sort of video, in terms of women can now buy these machines that can flick them and do inside and go round and go backwards and forwards, and men can't usually do that. So it's almost sort of saying men are completely redundant. So I'm going to invent a sex machine for men.
Are you?
I shall try. Yeah, I don't know what it's going to to look like or how it's going to be.
They have those vagina things.
I have those, but they've got a little pump. I mean, how can that be sexy? You've got this thing on your dick and it's just going... What does that do? I've never tried one, but I haven't tried one, honestly. Or like a blow-up doll. I mean, what's that all about?
Blow-up doll, I don't know.
It's just a bit sad. So it's the soft machine. Shall be coming very soon.
Yes. Everyone's been saying to me like, oh, well, as a woman, how do you feel about this porn video? And it's like, fucking hell, what? Don't I have a sexual mind? It's like, what is there a big problem? It's like I'm the only woman in the group. Do I think it's exploitative having this video? Of course not. It's just like, it's sex, and everyone is driven with this sexual urge, procreation. It's like ridiculous, and everyone's thinking that I'm going to be offended by it.
Are you?
Yes, no.
The definition of this kind of film, when it comes out, will be a sex film, because it's not hardcore porn, it's not art porn, it's a sex film. And I think in some ways it's kind of instructional. It's like a sex education film.
It's going to be good for the lesbian market too.
I hope so. I mean, because it was fascinating for me to make it, because I felt more like a nature documentary filmmaker, because it was like fascinating. I'm like, you know, how does that work? My God, you do it like that, do you? Oh, wow, that's interesting. Oh, what are those? Oh, right, fair enough. You know, so it's sort of interesting for me and for hopefully other people on that kind of level where you see how things are done.
David Attenborough.
Yes. We are at N2X, and you can win our single and a copy of the kind of Rude video.
Yeah, if you can guess what European capital city Barry and myself have recently visited, and send your answers on a postcard or email.
Because the song "Plug Me In" is about vibrators, and it's the idea of it is that you take this innocent kind of pop song, and then it's all about sex toys. But the other idea is it's all about machines watching human beings have sex and what they would think about that. You know, so it's just like, oh God, I really want to do that. You know, it's like how do they do it? How do they feel? You know, what does it feel like to do that? So that's the kind of the idea of the song. The woman with the blonde hair, her name is Layla, and she's 19 and she starred in 150 US hardcore films. Brilliant person. We had such a good laugh with her. And the other woman, Nadia, is a lesbian, a dark-haired one. She's a lesbian hardcore.
She's very beautiful.
Actress. And we just had the best time with those two, because they really took the piss, and at the same time they were just completely professional. They did their job. They knew exactly what they were doing. The reason for not casting a man is, I'm obviously in it, but the reason for not casting men in that is that the whole porno actor man kind of thing is very difficult to sort of deal with.
Did you not get on with the men that you met?
We didn't really meet any men that kind of looked like men. They all look like these kind of Chippendale kind of body fascist type of people, and I don't think that represents men. I don't think I look like that kind of man. These men here holding the camera and asking us questions, they don't look like porno men. It's just like, if the guy looks like a man, he's a porno man, and it's just, I don't see that as being kind of realistic. They had everything. They even have plastic pectorials.
What, they have implants?
Yeah. And an interesting male porn trick is they all do Viagra. That's how they can keep erections and go completely mental. But I think that's what kind of creates those kind of sex films, because it's all about the male penis doing this for as long as possible. And we all know, especially you ladies, you all know that men don't do it for that long. You just can't. And it's also, the male porn film is really based on all around the cum shot, and it's just not on really all this kind of stuff flying about all over the place. So when you deal with sex, the sexuality of women, it's so much more interesting, because it's very lateral. You know, it's not a linear process which ends in a cum shot. It's really beautiful to watch, because it just goes on and on and on, and different positions and different intensities of feeling, and this whole thing. And in a way, I'm very jealous. I'd love to be a woman. I'd love to know what that feels like. I'd love to know what it would be like to have an orgasm as a woman.
I really want to have a penis, though.
Well, should we swap? In the future, we might be able to swap. That would be a great thing.
You only want what you haven't got.
Exactly. But what if you could have it for a day? Would you want it?
Yeah.
Well, me too. Wouldn't you?
Yeah. Devonshire rap group called the Butter Smugglers.
I'm honoured.
Do you want to be in it?
Yeah. What can I do?
Dance?
Yeah, I dance.
Okay.
I dance in a kind of folkish way.
It's a deal.
See, that's what happens. You see, we suddenly there you go. Anne's just
Butter
formed.
Smugglers.
Anne's just formed a great band, a really fantastic. I mean, I'm just wonderful. Because I've formed like a label, and I hopefully want to put her first single out, and the band is called
Pregnant and Betrayed.
Which, fantastic. You know, and so hopefully, because I've started a record label called Circle Records, and you know, Anne's going to be one of the bands featured on it.
Thanks, Barry.
It's all kind of Sheffield-based electronic bands, Fat Truckers, I Monster, and National Bandit. So that's going to be coming out at the end of the year. So hopefully we're looking forward to...
Like an EP, or can I have my own single?
You can have your own single.
Okay.
No, because I believe in it.
We're doing a cover version of the Blue Oyster Cult, Don't Fear the Reaper. That's going to be our debut.
Jarvis is he helps out. But it's with Dean Honer from the All Seeing Eye. It's me and Dean's kind of project.
Jarvis makes the tea, doesn't he?
Jarvis makes the tea. And Jarvis DJs as well. He's a great DJ, plays great music. So it's all kind of that Sheffield thing. Phil Oakey's involved, and you know, everybody comes down to the sort of club that we run in Sheffield. And the club's called Absynthesis, which is a mixture of drinking heavy absinthe and synthesizer music and stuff. So that kind of works. But you know, Circle Records is there to sort of carry on the Sheffield tradition, because we believe that like Sheffield is the electronic capital of England, of the world, really.
Seinen Weg mit Blicken schreibt, stehst du mitten des Wegs, auf die Tür, die Grenze heißt.
Welcome back to Rock Squad 2, episode 5. Now we're going to talk about our racial heritage, our backgrounds in the band, and also our favorite racial insults, the best names we've been called, the best derogatory names. Dave, would you care to start?
Yes. I was born in Havana, Cuba, okay? And I was called, most recently by my favorite band members here, a boat beaner. No, I did not come on a raft. I came on a boat. 90 miles, you know? No, I flew actually on a plane. Landed in Florida. But my favorite one is boat beaner. I've been called a greaser before, but no, I don't like it. Boat beaner is the best.
Boat beaner. That would be my turn. My name is Mike, and I am basically a mutt, but a mixture, kind of like a mongrel dog. But the biggest part of me is Chinese. A little known secret. Ancient Chinese secret. Probably one of my favorite insults. Well, the most common one is chink. That's the one I get the most. You chink bastard, usually a chink bastard. Been called railroad builder, cat eater, many things like this. Slope, slant, dink. But I think my favorite still, the top would be chink. Yo soy chink. All right, here's Trevor Dunn.
All right, I am also basically a mutt, a white mutt. I've got some Norwegian, German, maybe some Dutch, I don't know what. I guess that makes me inbred, cracker, honky, trash, kraut.
My name's Buzz, and I'm basically a mutt too, but I do have some Jew blood in me. And my favorite one is, I'm a nigger-loving Jew boy. That's a nigger-loving Jew boy. This concludes our fifth section of Rock Squad. Thank you, boys. Highly insightful. And we'll see you next time.
Thanks for staying with us, watching the Wah² show. I hope it's been a very educational experience for myself.
And for you too, thank you. Thank you
Bye.
for watching.
Don't tell me how to live my life and don't ever stop the music.